Hi, everybody. I'm Leslyn Keith, and I'm here with my friends and colleagues. We have Catherine Seo. Hi, Catherine. And Gail Straker, and of course, Siobhan Huggins. And we're here together with you again on Friday. So glad you're all here. And you know what? We love it when you put stuff in the comments. So put in just where you are in the world. That's lovely to see where you are. Put in there if you have any questions or if you have a comment about something that we're talking about, because we are focusing on what's new and coming up with lipedema. We do this every Friday. And we do have lots of great stuff that just happened and some things coming up. And so we are going to be talking about a variety of things. Let's go first to Catherine. Could you give a recap of the fabulous Lipedema Awareness Month boot camp that we had in June?
So, Lipedema Awareness Month is June, and it is now July 8th. So, we finished it up, and then we had a holiday weekend. So, the boot camp was 3 days. It was a couple of weekends ago, and we decided to do something that we hadn't done before. It was very community centric. So, we had a number of speakers. All of us gave talks, plus Dr. Carmody and Brian Haywood on pain. And it was just, the talks were clear and precise, and we did a great job, I would say. And but then we had breakout sessions all throughout the 3 days where everybody talked and brainstormed, and we came up with um, well, we didn't. The community did. Dr. Carmody often talks about the wisdom is in the community. It's in each patient and in the community. So we really nurtured that over the boot camp. And I'm happy to say that we are going to be doing that as well in our event. We're going to have an event in October. We usually have a symposium, but we're looking for a new word for it because we're literally going to have all the leaders and shakers and movers in the world of lipedema from all over the world at this 3 or 4 day event. It's always been a symposium, but a symposium is us talking.
It's going to be more than that. It's going to be more than a symposium. Yep.
Go ahead, listen. Tell them more.
Well, just because, I mean, it was so exciting, all the interaction that we had in Lipedema Awareness Month and the boot camp, that we want to bring that quality into this special event. And so it's going to be happening in October. We know that. But we are going to have a special interactive type learning supportive atmosphere that's going to be happening in September, or sorry, in October, to talk about all of the multi-dimensional things you can do for yourself for lymphedema and lipedema, and how to support each other and live your best life. So we're looking forward to that. And I was just going to go to Gail if you were ready, or do you have an emergency happening right there, Gail?
No, my potential spam is what I've got going on over here. No, it's not an emergency. I just had the emergency was getting it turned off before that. Sorry. So I missed the segue. You said.
Oh, well, but I just wanted to have Gail, I want you to talk about, since you are the community manager for our lipedema tribe. And that's one thing that was happening at the end of Lipedema Awareness Month is opening up the tribe to allow new members to come in. And now that has closed at this time. But we do open up, we'll open up at least once a year to allow new members. But can you tell people about the tribe and the fantastic work that you're doing?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, we open up once a year at the end of Lipedema Awareness Month. And the reason that we do that is because everybody who comes to all of the events that we have, they're hungry for the connection of other individuals with lipedema. and they want to make sure that they stay on top of everything. And so we have quite a few members come in at that time. What we do as what we call the tribe is we are a community. It's a smaller group. It's a paid option. We have all kinds of offerings. We have a workout 5 days a week. We have what are they called? Fireside chats, where we have an expert come in and speak to a small group. We have pain management clinics. We have a book club. We have meditation. You have me hanging around almost everywhere you go. But the most important thing is the sense of belonging to a group, to a community that always have your back, that always know what you're talking about, that suggests something. For example, someone might suggest, I want to hear more about manual lymph drainage. And we get together with that, and we'll get a webinar or a fireside chat about manual lymph drainage. And so just simply belonging to the tribe, your voices are heard and your voices are supported, and you are supported, and you're able to support others. And so we have this tribe that opened up. Although it's now closed, if you can get on a waiting list for the next time it opens, you'll have first dibs on a slot. So yeah, it's pretty amazing, and we're kept up to date on everything. So is there anything else I should say?
Well, and just that your love and the gift of gab. And so if you ever want someone just to talk with, Gail's your gal.
Well, it's so funny. It is funny that you say that, because I'm already getting messages, because we use Circle as our tribe communication networking platform. Rather than Facebook, we've moved to Circle for the smaller group because it's more intimate. There aren't any ads there. It's just a really nice family feel to it, right? So I've been getting messages saying, oh, Gail, I need to talk. Oh, Gail, I need to talk. I've missed you. And I'm thinking, yeah, and I've missed your pretty faces too, because I get to know almost everybody in the tribe at this time who've talked to me. We get to know each other, and we're able to support each other, not just for our lipedema needs, but for our just general heart, mental health, social health needs that we have. We're able to reach out to each other. It's great.
Excellent.
So I want to make one thing that we forgot to talk about, which is that we are doing a series of webinars for Learn, which is the Lymphatic Education and Research Network. One of our coaches, Carrie Reedy. Hi, Siobhan. Siobhan's
Hello.
back. So
hopefully my internet will remain stable for the remainder of this.
So Carrie Reedy and I did one yesterday on befriending your body and keto and how those two fit together. Very good. And next month on August 4th, Leslyn will be doing one with Leslyn. Why don't you talk a little bit about the webinar, and they call it a symposia for Learn, and that's going to lead into a CSIG.
Yeah. And I would say too, that this is a whole series that we're doing starting in June and through the rest of the year. Once a month, we're doing various topics about lipedema. And so next month in August, I will be doing a webinar with another one of our coaches through Lipedema Simplified, Adie McKenzie, and she is a certified lipedema therapist, just like myself. And we'll be doing a webinar about physical management strategies for lipedema. And we're hoping that will also lead into, if people are interested in that topic, we're going to be offering what we call a coaching special interest group, or CSIG. And this is an offering through Lipedema Simplified. It's going to be 4 sessions all about different physical management strategies for lipedema. Let me just get you the official title of it: Comprehensive and Creative Physical Management Strategies for Lipedema. And so we're going to be talking about, for instance, complete decongestive therapy with manual lymph drainage, compression therapy. We'll be talking about a bunch of options for compression garments. We'll be talking about all these complementary types of things you could do, like vibration or rebounding or dry brushing, or all these different things you could do for the physical management of your lipedema, helping with the various symptoms. For instance, like reducing pain, all this kind of stuff that that you may want to know more about for that one aspect of lipedema care. Because remember, we really have that holistic approach here at Lipedema Simplified. And so, for instance, Gail was just talking about the social aspect, having that community and belonging as a member of the tribe. This particular webinar with Learn and our CSIG will be focusing on those physical management strategies. And then we have other, for instance, I think we have some coaches that are Zen masters, and they really work on the spiritual aspect and doing meditation. So we really try to have an overall program, even though we really got towards the keto side of things, because that was what I was interested in. So, but we realize that that's only one part of the equation. I think it's the foundation of the equation, but we need more than just addressing our nutritional aspects. So I'm excited to be part of that, doing that Learn webinar, and then also that CSIG. You'll be getting more information on that. We'll have more information on all those things coming up. But I know that people are interested in hearing an update from Siobhan, because she has been doing a compression therapy experimentation. And she talked about it a little bit last week when we were all here together. And so I wanted to give you an opportunity, Siobhan, to give any updates on how that's going.
Yeah, so we're 8 days into the challenge out of however many days are in July, probably 31. And I basically have it set up so that I have a reward system in place. So for every day I wear compression, I get points. And if I wear both leg and arm compression, I get bonus points. And that's working towards a goal of something that I want. So I get something in return. And I have 3 different types of leg compression that I'll wear. And it basically goes from lighter compression all the way to very tight compression. And so if I'm having a day where it's like, oh, I really don't want to wear any compression today, then I'll go with the light compression, and at least it's something like we talked about last week. And so far, 8 days in, I have missed 1 day, but that's it. And normally over a period of 8 days, I probably would have worn compression once. So that's a big increase. And the main things that I've noticed is it seems to make me a little bit more resistant to the effects of eating like not ideal things. So I went on a 2-day-long road trip over the weekend, and like as you're traveling, you have to like get grab and go type of stuff, or that is an option if you didn't prepare, which I didn't. And so it would be stuff like cured meat, like pre-cooked bacon, things like that. And I don't always respond well to that. And it didn't seem to have as much of an effect because I was wearing compression that whole time. So it may have been a coincidence, who knows, but hopefully over the course of the month, it'll be a little bit better clarified.
We'll have to do a replication to make sure.
Yes.
So I have a question for you, Siobhan.
Mm-hmm.
When you took this road trip, normally when you take a road trip, do you have swelling? Do you have like
I haven't really noticed, but I don't typically pay attention. Like if there's anything unpleasant in my body, I just kind of block it out. Like that's my norm. Okay. So it takes me a lot of concentrated effort to notice stuff. So I'll have to pay attention next time I travel. I know when I'm at conferences, which will typically involve planes, I'll definitely get swelling and I'll need to up electrolytes and stuff like that. So maybe, but I haven't noticed with car trips, but I just don't take them as often.
Oh, okay. Because I know that I swell when I go on, if I drive down to Southern California or something, by the time I'm done with the trip, I'm just I'm so packed up in my legs, and wearing compression really made a difference when I figured that out. So
I know
just
one thing for sure that's a trigger. So there's the planes, which are definitely, and then the other thing is heat. I will get really bad heat-induced edema to the point where it'll make me nauseous because it feels like I'm being strangled. And I didn't seem to get that as much. Like I definitely had to make sure the air conditioner was on, but it wasn't as immediate of a problem. So I wonder if the compression is helping in terms of that. But yeah, so far I think I'm doing pretty well. I've also built in a thing like once a week if I want to take a day off. I have that allowance, but I've only used it once. And that's because it was a particularly hot day and I just didn't want the extra layer. But so far so good, and it seems to be having a positive effect.
Okay. Yeah, and we see that Juanetta is commenting, compression every day, all day is very challenging. I find it tiring.
Yeah, me too. And that's kind of why I started the challenge in the first place, because then I can compare, like, does this have a benefit? And then whenever I'm like struggling to get into it again, I can just remind myself, like, this is the benefit that it has. But it is tiring. And I'm not quite sure what to do with that. Maybe I'll find some tips and tricks, or somebody will tell me some tips and tricks how to make it a little bit better. But it is the one thing that I really, really struggle with. So I'm trying to work at it.
Yeah.
Someone is asking a question. Quietly Kept is looking for a physician in the Richmond, Virginia area. If you go to lipedemaproject.org, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Find a Doctor. Let me say that there are very few and far between doctors who know about lipedema. I know that there are some in Boston, so feel free to take a look at the map and see what you can find.
Yeah, you might have to travel, unfortunately, to find a physician that is already knowledgeable. The other option is to educate your physician, print out an article about lipedema and take it with you when you go to your next appointment.
There's also a third option, which is find a doctor who does telemedicine who's aware of it. So I know of two so far, just off the top of my head. One would be Dr. Tro Collegian in New Jersey, and he's licensed in pretty much every state, I think, at this point. And then the other is Brian Lenskis. I'm not sure where he's licensed, but I know he does do telemedicine. So he might be able to do it out of Virginia as well. So those might be worth checking.
He's out of California, and so it depends if he has a license for outside of California. That's a good point. And so I don't know if Catherine or Gail, if you have the ability to put those names into the chat for people. So that was, they're hard to spell those names, Tro Collegian. And
yeah, you can find Tro at drtro.com. So that makes it a lot easier.
drtro.com. That's TRO, Dr. Tro. As you spell out doctor, or is just do DR?
You spell out doctor. So it's DOCTORTRO.com.
Okay.
I have to think about that.
Yeah, and I think that Brian Lenskis is also his name, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah,
it might be. Yeah, it might be. But we'll put the information in the chat, or at least in the comments afterwards, so that you can find them.
Excellent. And sorry, Gail, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and it's difficult to get insurance to pay if they're out of state. Dr. Tro, I believe, has his licensure. And did he get all 50 states by now? Because I know he was working on it.
Yes.
It's somewhere up there. It's either 50 or like 48 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
as long as he's licensed in your state, it's going to be covered by your insurance.
Right.
And I am putting in the chat a link to ebook that we just came out with on the characteristic stages and types of lipedema, which can be very helpful when meeting with your physician.
Yeah, and I also should do a caveat to being covered by your insurance. If you have an HMO, they're only want to cover the people that are in network, and so these doctors could be outside of network, And so that is something you'd have to get pre-authorized for. It could be difficult. But I wanted to, before we run out of time, I wanted to quickly go to what's going to be happening next Friday when we get all together again, because Siobhan was just talking about wearing compression when traveling to conferences. Well, it so happens that Gail, Catherine, and Siobhan will be traveling to a conference, some of them traveling from further away than others. And because Keto Fest is happening next
Saturday.
It's just Saturday. Okay.
Yeah.
And so Friday, when we all get together again, those three are going to be there at Keto Fest. And that is in what town? Where is it?
New London, Connecticut.
New London, Connecticut. And so they're all traveling there. I'll be here in California. Siobhan is actually presenting at this conference about lipedema. Yes. So if anybody, if you have an opportunity, if you live in the Northeast and you want to go to Keto Fest and hear a presentation about lipedema, Siobhan is always wonderful. So check that out if you can.
And
It's
they
a
do
big
have
party. It's a big party.
they do have a virtual option also. So if you can't travel, you can go to Keto Fest virtually. It's just look up Keto Fest 2022, one word, Keto Fest, and you'll find it online. For me, I am so cool. I am so excited because I finally get to meet Catherine and Siobhan in person. Siobhan and Catherine, have you met each other in person yet?
No. I've only met Leslyn so far.
Okay, so the three of us are going to get to meet each other in person, and we are going to be giddy with excitement.
New London, watch out.
That's right. That's wonderful.
So I fly into Boston, and then Catherine and I are going to drive up or down. I don't know which direction it is from where I didn't even look at the map.
Yeah, we're driving down to Connecticut.
And the fun thing is Catherine has never met me in person. I'm going to be so excited. I will not shut up for like 6 days. And she's going to go, oh my God, get out of here, get back on that plane and go home. She's done with me.
I do not think so.
I talk a lot when I get excited.
So please join us again next Friday, the same time. We'll have the three of my colleagues live from Keto Fest.
1 second.
Lynetta says,
yeah, this is important. Go ahead, Leslyn.
If your insurance is a PPO and there is no provider in your area, call for advanced authorization of an out-of-network provider. I recently did this. It cleared the way for me to see a knowledgeable local provider, as well as a surgeon in California who is in their network and licensed for my state. Excellent to do that. Yes, because even a PPO, which you can go to anybody you want, not as restrictive as an HMO, still they will not pay as much. Your insurance will not pay as much if that person is out of network. But if they have no one in network who understands lipedema, you can go out of network, and they have to pay that provider as if they are in network. So thank you very much for that, Lynetta. And with that, we are going to close this down because we once again overstayed when we're supposed to be here. But it's been lovely being with everybody again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yeah. See you next week.